enforcers of law who are tasked with maintaining public order, protecting individuals and property, and preventing and investigating crimes. That is what being a police officer means, or at least that's what they are trying to do. Instances have aroused where police officers have misused their authority, employed excessive force, and violated people's rights, particularly those from marginalized communities, leading to distrust and fear of law enforcement. Are they subjected to such power? What are the legal repercussions for them, however? And most of all, would they be treated differently when compared to the masses? Join us as we take a closer look at two of the most uncanny cases that could make question the judicial system as a whole. Our first case kicks off with the case of Harold Hill, which is just a perfect example of how our justice system can go wrong. This case definitely checks all the boxes, including a horrific rape and murder, as well as a mishandled conviction, you name it. So then what went about? Let's start with the so-called beacons of justice, Kenneth Bordeaux and John Halloran, the detectives who were assigned to the case and the beacons of law. They were the ones who managed to extract a confession from Peter Williams, who was later discovered to have been in custody when the crime was committed. How did they even produce a fabricated confession from someone who wasn't even present? Hill claims he was physically and mentally tortured until he confessed to crimes he didn't commit. Is this the kind of conduct we anticipate from our law enforcement personnel? The trial itself was held when Hill was 31 years old, despite the fact that he was only 16 at the time of the crime and was therefore tried as an adult. At this point, it's just not fair, and it's incomprehensible what Hill is going through. Given that neither of the defendants had a criminal history prior to the incident, this is an intriguing move by the prosecution. Hill and Young were given a life without parole sentence after the jury found them guilty of the murder. However, 13 long years later, DNA tests showed that neither of the defendants' cellular components found under Kathy Morgan's fingernails, nor the hair found at the crime scene matched either of them. Imagine the sheer suffering Hill endured for something he didn't do. It continues to amaze me how Hill managed to hang on to his life. The prosecutors disputed the findings despite this evidence, claiming that the hairs had nothing to do with the crime and that the cellular material might have come from sweat or drool that the recovery teams had left behind. Even in the face of such overwhelming evidence, it's shocking that the prosecutors were so resistant. Young was killed in a hit-and-run incident shortly after Harold and Young were finally let out of jail. This almost leads us to believe that this is almost a plot to clip both of them. Hill, on the other hand, accused the city of Chicago, the police, and the two detectives involved in the case of coercing a confession and violating his civil rights in a complaint he filed against them. The case was resolved for $1.25 million, of which Hill received $500,000 and the remainder was paid to the lawyers. It's surprising that the detectives were only asked to make a pitiful $7,500 payment for their roles in this whole fiasco. You think that's all? Wait until you hear this. It should be noted that Hill is currently serving a 27-year sentence after being found guilty once more of an unrelated charge of armed robbery. In spite of this, it is obvious that Harold Hill was let down by the legal system in the past. This case emphasizes the need for justice system reform to prevent erroneous convictions and make sure that those who abuse their power are held accountable. Starting with the investigation and continuing through the trial and conviction, the Harold Hill case is a tragedy of errors. Hill was wrongfully detained for 13 years, and because the system made him a criminal, he was never given the opportunity to adapt to life outside of prison. He was completely screwed over by the system, and the police only received $7,500 each. When police officers commit acts like the ones they did, they should be imprisoned for a minimum of the same amount of time as the victims they imprisoned. Up next, we have an oddball in the form of Sergeant Mario Cardona versus Daniel Garza. After being thrown and pinned to the ground, Daniel Garza was rendered helpless. Officer Mario Cardona, a longtime friend of Garza's, was on the verge of breaking his wrist. Confronting a criminal and keeping him confined is one thing, but putting a civilian without a reason is shocking. Garza recalled, I was trying to be a man and trying to hold in the pain, but man, that wrist lock hurts. He's just bending it and bending it. But why did Cardona go so far as to nearly break his wrist? His actions were apparently driven by rage toward Garza, whom he accuses of attempting to kidnap his stepdaughter. But are cops subjected to such an authority in the first place? It appears that the two men had a long history together because Garza had once dated Naomi Villanueva, the stepdaughter of Cardona. Villanueva left her parents' home to live with a friend because the relationship had reached its breaking point. However, Villanueva was allegedly taken from her friend's home in May 2015 by Garza without her consent and brought to her parents' residence in Whittier, where Cardona lived across the street. Garza was performing pilates in his garden when Cardona saw him and told him to go to the street. Cardona started his assault as soon as Garza sat down. Garza claimed that he was not the aggressor, and a neighbor who saw the incident attested to Garza's innocence. As soon as they arrived on the scene, the sheriff's deputies saw redness on Garza's face, bruises and abrasions on his knees, and redness on his wrist. After Garza complained about Cardona, the city of Los Angeles, Chief Beck, and Cardona were named as defendants in a federal lawsuit. Garza claimed that he had been the victim of a false arrest, an arbitrary search and seizure, overuse of force, an assault and battery, negligence, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The trial also featured a video of the incident captured by one of Garza's neighbors. They had made up a story of what had happened to make him look like a hero, and me look like a criminal, Daniel Garza. The hearing was presided over by U.S. District Judge Stephen V. Wilson, who heard former Deputy City Attorney Michael Amarian speak in defense of the city. Cardona was found to have acted maliciously as an off-duty officer by the jury, and on June 26, 2017, he was ordered to pay Garza $210,000 in damages. In addition, the court added $664,000 in attorney's fees and $26,000 in post-trial costs. The city of L.A. refused to take responsibility for Cardona's actions and even refused to indemnify the officer, forcing him to pay for the charges out of his pocket. Jim DeSimone, Garza's attorney, claims, "This is the problem with the LAPD. This is why people are out on the street." The incident serves as an example of how police can abuse people and get away with it. In this instance, however, Garza was able to confront the authorities who had infringed upon his rights and prevail in his lawsuit against Cardona. It is clear that police officers cannot get away with using excessive force against citizens after the jury found Cardona guilty of malice. It is important to note that this case also emphasizes how crucial it is for citizens to be aware of their rights and to speak out against law enforcement when they believe those rights have been violated. Garza's decision to accuse Cardona of using excessive force and file a complaint against him demonstrates that people can take legal action to stop police brutality. What do you think of these cases? Which do you think is most unfair? Sound off in the comments below and make sure to let us know if we missed out on anything. While you are at it, make sure to hit that subscribe and leave a like to never miss an update from us. Thanks for watching.
Being you have no authority or jurisdiction over me is for me to get out of my private automobile and talk about what I just told you.
And you can show me your passport.
You got my passport, dude.
I don't have your passport.
Those gentlemen do have my passport. The Highway Patrol do.
Okay.
Highway Patrol, how about bring the passport so I can read it to the sheriff? Could you be so kind?
So, if you come out and explain to me your passport, I'll hear your side of it.
You've already heard my side. I've already told you my side.
Well, you can explain your passport to me.
I don't need to explain it. You should know this as a LEO, shouldn't you?
I've never seen your passport.
The interaction begins with the officers informing the man of his violations and requesting him to step out of the vehicle for a conversation. However, the man asserts his rights and refuses to cooperate, citing that he has no obligation to comply with the officer's demands. He claims that as a United States national, he is not subject to their jurisdiction and asserts his right to freely travel.
So ask them gentlemen politely, sirs, highway patrolmen, may I please have my passport to read to the sheriff?
They're not going to give it back to you until...
They're not going to give it back to me. So you're telling me the Highway Patrol in Wyoming has stole my private property? Is that what you guys are telling me?
You can claim...
No, it's not a claim, sir. That's another matter of fact of law. Does that passport belong to any of you? Does that passport belong to any of you? The answer is no. And if you're not giving that back to me, which is my said possession, what is that called? What's that called? As LEOs, you should know what that's...
Let me know.
That's called theft. Okay?
However, throughout the exchange, the man repeatedly challenges the officer's authority and attempts to educate them on what he believes to be the law. He references legal precedents and quotes various court cases to support his argument. He insists that the officers are acting as private entities rather than representatives of the government. He also accuses them of being revenue collectors for a foreign corporation operating under statutes and codes.
No, it is not.
Yes, sir.
What is possession?
It is property.
What is possession, sir?
I'm not going to argue with you, sir.
I know you can argue with me because you don't know the law. Possession is 9/10 of it, correct?
All I said was... All I said... When I stopped you, I didn't say you're getting a ticket. I never said you're getting a ticket. I just want you to step out so we can talk face to face.
We are talking face to face.
Out of your vehicle.
No, I'm not getting out of my private automobile. This ain't a vehicle.
Tensions escalate as the man resolutely refuses to comply with the officer's requests. The officers, growing increasingly frustrated, warn the man that they will forcefully remove him from the vehicle, even breaking the window if necessary. The man counters their threats, proclaiming that he will not allow his rights to be violated and his private property be damaged.
Barris, B-E-R-R-I-S.
B-E-R-R-I-S. Okay.
It's in the passport you stole.
Okay, we didn't steal your passport.
Well, then may I have my passport
You'll get
back?
everything back. What I need you to do, okay, so I'm going to tell you. Okay, so you're driving without a driver's license. You're speeding. You don't have plates on your vehicle. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I need you to get out of the vehicle to chat with us. Otherwise, I'm going to ask you to get out of the car. So right now I'm asking you, will you please get out of the car and speak with us?
No, I will not.
Okay, I'm going to tell you to get out of the car. You need to get out of the car right now.
You're being recorded.
That's fine.
Okay. And under what authority are you demanding an American state national to get out of this vehicle when I don't have to prove any kind of... I am not in your corporate bylaws. I don't need driver's licenses.
That's fine.
The conversation becomes heated with both sides firmly entrenched in their positions. The man accuses the officers of theft, claiming that they have unlawfully confiscated his passport, in which the officers ask the man to come out of the vehicle, which he denied to do.
I've already helped you. I've educated you about the law, but you're not listening. Okay. You're not accepting the facts, okay? Now, I'm going to ask you one more time. I would like my passport back. I would like to get on my way. I have critters with water freezing. I really don't have time for this.
Okay, sir. I'm telling you, if we have to, we will break the window, unlock the vehicle, and pull you out. Do you want it to get to that, or do you want to come out and talk to us?
Okay, so you're threatening...
The man emphasized the urgency of the situation, stating, "I have critters with water freezing. I really don't have time for this." Attempting to resolve the issue peacefully, the individual warned the other person that if necessary, they would resort to forceful measures, to which the cop said, "Sir, I'm telling you, if we have to, we'll break the window, unlock the vehicle, and pull you out. Do you want it to get to that, or do you want to come out and talk to us?"
You guys admit that you have no authority over me.
We can't do that, sir.
Well, I'm sorry you can't do that.
Okay.
Well, but I am not going to allow you to violate my rights to travel. I will not allow you to damage my private property. Okay? I'm telling you right now.
I don't want to damage your private property. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I don't want to at all.
Okay.
All I want you to do is get out of the vehicle so we can talk. That's it. That is it. And I won't damage your private property. Nothing. That's
not happening. Okay. I don't have to get out of this vehicle.
Okay, so why are we coming to this? Why are we butting heads there? Why don't you?
Because you guys are not listening to the matter of fact of law. That's why.
To the matter of fact of law.
It's called the matter of fact of law.
Okay.
The man didn't let his guard down and demanded to return his passport and challenges the officers to admit they have no authority over him.
Yes, sir. Can I do for you?
All right, sir. Here's your passport back. Can you roll it down a little bit further? You just want me to slide it in there?
Just slide her in here.
Okay, so this is back. Jody, pull those out. Okay. Free to go for now, okay?
What'd you do to my car?
We didn't do anything to your car.
Okay, I got it on film here.
Okay.
There's nothing sabotaged on my private vehicle.
There's nothing sabotaged on your vehicle.
Relying on the intervention of the sheriff's department, the individual expressed their trust in their involvement. They mentioned that all parties involved were gathered together for a discussion. The individual noted that a young officer approached them with her passport and handed it to a higher-ranking highway patrolman. Then the man respectfully addressed the officer, asking, "Yes, sir, what can I do for you?" The officer returned their passport, and the individual requested them to roll down the window a bit further for the return. A situation of mounting tension played out outside a residence, heightening into a sharp exchange between a woman and a team of police officers who were in pursuit of an individual named Christopher Ruff.
I need to speak with them about an incident. Do you have a phone number for him or anything?
I do not.
You do not? Do you mind if I grab your information just to say I talked to you and that you said he wasn't home?
No, for what reason? What is this about?
It's an incident that he was involved in. I need to interview him about.
Okay, what incident?
The woman, taken aback by their sudden appearance and intrusive actions, asserted that Christopher wasn't present. Despite not knowing his whereabouts, she declined to provide any further information, growing increasingly uncomfortable with the officers' relentless inquiries and the insinuations their presence brought.
I don't need to answer that question.
What?
I don't need to answer that question.
Do you answer any questions?
Nope.
No? Okay, then thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, you too. Is there a reason you're walking around my car right now? There's
Yeah,
1,
we're
2,
talking
3,
to you.
4,
Have a
5,
good day.
6
Thank
of
you.
you surrounding my fucking car. Why are you here?
Regardless of her distinct assertion that she lacked any useful information, the officers carried on with their questioning, they initiating photographing her car and circling it in a manner that she found threatening.
So I talked to you earlier and you said it wasn't your car.
I didn't say that, you liar. Why are you taking pictures of my fucking car?
An incident. That's why we're trying to talk to Chris.
Why are you talking to Chris if it's my fucking car?
You weren't driving.
You have to tell me why you are taking pictures of my vehicle. That's why?
Yes.
Why didn't you fucking tell me that? I've been asking for like 20 minutes.
She demanded to know why they were photographing her vehicle and why they were at her location, her irritation mounting with every evasion of her questions. In response to her rising annoyance, one of the officers finally divulged a vague reason for their actions. He mentioned that her car had been implicated in an incident. However, he left the specifics of the supposed incident undisclosed, causing the woman's confusion to persist.
Did you not tell them it was involved in a collision?
He was involved in an incident, that's what he said.
Okay.
And then I said, why are you surrounding my car? And nobody's fucking answering me.
So you tried to talk to me earlier and you said you didn't want to talk about the car, so how are we supposed to know you?
I didn't say that. What are you talking about? I'm recording right
I
now.
was involved in a collision. Would you like to talk to us about that now?
What collision? I wasn't driving the car.
She denied driving the car and asserted that it had been parked there the whole time. The woman defended her rights vocally, challenging the officers' actions and their refusal to supply clear explanations for their conduct. Despite their assurances that she wasn't receiving any kind of citation, the continued presence of the officers and their invasive actions cast doubts over the authenticity of their claims.
Okay.
It's been parked here. What do you need? What do you need?
Okay, who else drives your car then?
None of your
If you're
fucking
willing to
business.
communicate
None
with
of
me,
your fucking business. What do you
then
need
I'll
with my
communicate
car?
with you, but if you're just going to be disrespectful and not answer the question,
Are you going to give me a citation of some kind?
No, I'm not. That's why I didn't ask to speak.
Then
to you. I
stop
asked to speak
taking
with-
fucking pictures of
Okay,
my
that's why I
car.
asked to speak with Chris
If you
about
need
that.
any information, you can call the person that you think was involved.
And I asked for his
And
phone
get the
number,
fuck
he said
away
he
from
would
my
give it to
car.
me, okay?
Their persistence in photographing her vehicle, even in the face of her repeated pleas for clarity, remained unbroken. The interaction concluded in a deadlock, with a woman resolute in her refusal to surrender information and the officers unsuccessful in adequately justifying their actions.
Are we done? Do you have everything you need?
Okay, yeah, we are done.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
Fuck out of here.
A routine police inquiry had escalated into a tense standoff, leaving a trail of unanswered questions and a residual sense of discomfort.
card.
What's up, buddy?
What do you want?
Any weapons in the vehicle?
What do you want?
Weapons in the vehicle?
You just pulled me over. What do you want?
During the traffic stop, an individual in question demonstrates a strong determination to understand the reason behind their detainment. They confidently assert their rights under the Fifth Amendment, refusing to answer any questions until the officer provides a clear explanation for the stop.
You need to tell me why you stopped me.
What's that?
You need to tell me why you stopped me.
Yeah, I'll explain that in a second to you.
No, you need to tell me right now. You just detained me on the side of the road while I'm driving.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll explain all that in a second. Can you confirm you have weapons in the system?
In the system?
Confirm you have weapons in the vehicle.
You're gonna tell me why you stopped me before I ask any questions. Answer any of your questions.
By invoking the Fifth Amendment, which protects individuals from self-incrimination, they emphasize their right to remain silent.
You know who I am?
Recognize your voice.
Ah.
Okay.
So why are you asking me if I have weapons if you know who I am?
I can't see what you have going on your lap down there, that's why.
If you know who I am, you know I don't have any weapons. So why are you asking me? Right?
Are you able to answer that question for me yet or not? Hey, roll this window down.
You don't gotta roll it down.
Roll this window down.
You don't have to.
Their insistence on being informed about the purpose of the stop before engaging in any dialogue reveals a strategic approach to the situation.
Yeah, it does. You better tell me why,
It's not for him. He got
right
now.
You'll explain to me eventually? I want to know why I'm stopped. I didn't break any laws. You see this dash cam right here? See that?
They emphasize the importance of the officer's obligation to state the reason for the stop, seeking transparency and accountability from law enforcement.
I did? I did? I'm driving the vehicle. I did that?
Can you confirm there's weapons in the vehicle?
Hey, you guys, I got a dash cam right there that will show all of this. This is excellent. Share this around. This moron knows who I am and he's asking me if I got weapons in the car.
By prioritizing their right to know why they were stopped, the individual establishes a foundation for challenging the legality and validity of the encounter.
I don't have to answer questions. You know what the Fifth Amendment is?
Stand by with him.
Hey, I just want you to understand that for a traffic stop, when we ask, if a police officer asks you if there's any weapons, you have to say if you have weapons or not.
Do you know what the Fifth Amendment is?
Okay, all right, I want you to understand.
Do you know what the Fifth Amendment is? Yes or no? Hit the like button, you guys. Share this.
Their assertiveness not only showcases a firm understanding of their rights, but also challenges the authority and discretion of the officer. By putting the burden of explanation on the officer, they aim to ensure that the stop is based on legitimate grounds rather than arbitrary or discriminatory motives. This interaction exemplifies a proactive approach to asserting one's rights during police encounters, highlighting the significance of accountability, transparency, and adherence to proper procedures in law enforcement.